Hello, this is Life Experience Tip by Dorothy Cannon. Um, and my topic for today is love according to the Bible. And all of my videos will be talking about my life experience and tips that I have come across over the course of my life. And because let me first tell about the famous scripture, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And that's John 3:16. We, love, according to the Bible, we have to kind of like look at it in a lot of different ways. We look at it because it's not just red and black. It's not just red and black. It's not a simple red and black. It's love is sometimes very difficult to understand. But the Bible shares about love is in sacrificing, because God sacrificed his only begotten Son for us. And Jesus, he sacrificed his life, so we could have a life with the Father. Now, he didn't sacrifice a life that we can have it with the Father. So let me get a little bit more relaxed. And I know this is a video, but the thing about it, I'm at my house and I'm relaxed on my couch. Let me pull that up just a little bit closer so you can see me. And life is sometimes hard for you to understand that true love is sacrificing. Sometimes it's sacrificing yourself for others. But I'm gonna have to remind you, because I'm always reminding people of these are the last days, and you're gonna have to make a choice between the mark of the beast and God. You're gonna have to choose which one you want to be your father. If you want Satan to be your father, you're gonna choose the mark of the beast. If you want God to be your father, you're gonna choose God and his only begotten Son, which is Jesus Christ, that died on the cross for us. And this has been my life experience. It's not because I'm uncovering their sin because I don't love them. I'm uncovering their sin because I love them, and I also love others, other people. Plus, I love God first, because he said, in his Bible, to love him first. In a sense, to love the Lord thy God with all heart, mind, soul, and strength. And also to love your neighbors. And I know it been a hard situation for me to come to reality with. But I had to do it because I love. Love is so very strange sometimes. I love them because I love people because God tells me in the sense that I should be. And I love God. When you love God, you have to love people. But my story is that I came across some things in Mississippi, Greenwood, Mississippi. And I want to tell people about, you know, and it's not saying about mental illness. People think people think that the statistic is correct about mental illness, but it's not. Because, they put me in a mental hospital. It was a scam to get me to be afraid or fear them and bow down to their whatever they want, what they want me to do. So they want, I wouldn't expose their scams there in Greenwood, Mississippi. But it's been a scam going on there. They involved a family member so that they because they don't want to be sued or be exposed and everything. So, because you don't, normal person wouldn't sue their family members, but I would, because you know what, right is right and wrong is wrong. And they don't understand that this is affecting a lot of other people's lives. My family, brother and sister, one stay in Itta Bena, one stay in Greenwood, put me in, went and took out papers and everything, because, I sued another family member, and also was sued Greenwood, Mississippi as well. So I'm bold. But I sued them as well. But the scam is, in a sense, anyone that come up against Greenwood, Mississippi area, the city councilors, the mayor, those people that are in high, authority there, and the Bible said we don't fight against flesh and blood. In a sense, we don't spill blood, because Jesus shared that in the Bible, that in a sense the reason he healed the soldier's ear that Peter cut off, because we don't fight against with physical fight. We fight against that with our sword, and that's what I'm fighting right now. I'm fighting with my sword, my mouth, and exposing sin and exposing their scam. And they and it's a scam that I exposed it, and that I got caught up in. It was with the city, the building inspectors there. And the thing about it, the whole department was in a scam. I went to the city council because that's what they said I should go to make a complaint. But you can't, and the thing about it, they should have some other way to make a complaint. You can't, you gotta make a complaint with the courts, when you want to make a true complaint. They don't have a system there to make complaints, and their complaints be resolved, and when you try to go and fight with the court system, they already got the judges in their pocket, so to speak, and they got they own, the city of Greenwood own a portion of Greenwood for a hospital. So let me get my story out. Let me just go and tell it. Okay, I went there November. Well, I went there previous for to get things done to a house there. Anyway, during that time that I was there, I ran across a scam with the, and then not only that, when I ran across the scam with the inspectors, I ran across the scam with the city councilors too, because they was protecting the inspectors, okay, the building inspectors. And they wanted to, had allowed them to, the building inspector took a picture of the house, didn't have nobody permission inside the house. Now you can take a picture on the outside, but you want to take a picture on the inside, you got to have somebody permission. Didn't have nobody permission. Going to try to expose me and try to, make me and try to shame me by putting this, try to put this video on national television. Okay, so we went against all of that. I told them they can't do that. Nobody got my permission, so they didn't put it on there. But anyway, I was trying to get everything resolved, so I went head on and made a complaint, a legal complaint. I tried to find attorneys to sue them. They got all the attorneys afraid of them. Even if they don't stay in that city, if they got relatives stay in that city, they are afraid. So I went head on and tried to do the legal process myself. Proceed by myself. And I did that, and they, when I sued my brother-in-law, it was time, in a sense, it was a certain amount of time that the defendant is supposed to respond to a complaint, which they didn't respond. Judge Hines, Ashley Hines, they shared with me, sent me a letter, shared with me that, he awarded the over to the defendant and everything. But, if that was, wrong as well. See, I'm telling y'all the crookedness up there. And then when I made another suit and I had another lawsuit with the city of Greenwood. Okay, so in between this time, because I was a threat to them, they wanted to, in a sense, to hush me up. So they got my family involved. I don't know how they did that and everything, but they got them involved. And so the family went and, because they wanted to stay in this clique, in this group, the family went and had me, and now I came down for a meeting. I didn't, I wasn't staying there. I had left and came back home to Texas. And they're gonna declare that, gonna try to take out papers on me to have me committed. So these paperwork they was gonna have me committed on, they told a bunch of lies on it. And the judge, the majesty, which is Floyd Melton, he didn't even listen at it. He already had made up his mind that when he came in, that he was gonna send me to the state hospital. And I told him, I said, I'm not a resident of the state of Mississippi. And you can't do that. And like I said, everything is based on hearsay. You don't have no evidence to say that I'm what? Mentally ill, which I'm not. And see, that was declared later on in the state of Texas that I'm not mentally ill. Nothing wrong with me, for as my mental status. And all of this was because that I was suing them and standing up to them. And they have done other people like this. According to the state hospital in Whitfield, they shared, I heard the workers talking about, and when they was talking about, that same old story that she was sharing, that, somebody, they picked her up from the city councilor and took her to the holding unit. She said, we done heard that story so many times. So they've been doing this committing this scam to a lot of people. And what people, is not trying to do, they don't want to sue nobody. They don't want to report them because the family is involved. So you don't want to report or sue your family, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's what love is all about. Love is doing what is right, even when you don't want to do what is right. Because see, if God uses us as our hands and feet, in a sense, to make things right, to make justice, prevail and make it right. Because see, people think, God can do this. But God uses us to do things. He's not gonna be coming down here and suing nobody for you. He's not gonna be coming down here, doing stuff. People gonna have to be doing this because He uses our hands and feet and our mouths. He uses our body to do what we need to be doing, for justice sake and for righteousness sake. And this is righteous sake as well, because it's justice sake. And people say, I'm probably not loving. When I'm not loving my brother if I'm doing this. Oh, I'm loving my brother. I'm loving God. I'm loving my brother. I'm loving the ones that have been tormented, the ones that have been ridiculed, the ones have been lied on, and have caused them to go in the mental health place, and they don't even supposed to be there, and try to either kill them or give them medication so that it can probably run them crazy and put and messing up their medical records. That's a violation of HIPAA right there, and messing up your medical records. Or your mental records. And they've been doing this scam for a long time to keep their scam going, because nobody is reporting it. Why? Because the family is involved. And even when they report it, because I reported to the FBI there in Mississippi on the 800 line, nobody said it. They wouldn't even listen to my story. I reported to the Attorney General there. Nobody did no kind of investigation whatsoever, because it seemed like they all in the hoot together, and people need to know that, that people got rights, and people say, well, they didn't want you there. If they don't want you there, you don't be. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. I can go anywhere I want to go. That's your right. It's not according to what they want, Because see, And if the truth be known, if they city council, if your city councils and the mayor, they should want somebody to come there to their city. That's gonna try to help the youth there, and the whole almost nearly the whole school system the state had taken over. You would want somebody to come there to try to help them, try to give the children some hope and love. But no, they want to keep them bound too. They don't care about your children. And they sent me to the state hospital. You know, I'm going rattling around, but you understand the story. They sent me to the state hospital. Didn't know my medical records. And I told them I am from the state of Texas. Told my address, my next of kin, and next of kin telephone number. Because nobody contacted my next of kin either to let them know that they had put me in state hospital. I'll hold you. And so I was admitted in the state hospital. They gave me drugs, didn't know my medical records. And I refused the drugs. I wasn't acting out, wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary that I do on a regular basis. Just talking. And not talking, or acting up or acting out, or however. And they're gonna tell me the next day that after I was there, I got medication prescribed. I said, y'all keep prescribing no medication and don't know my history, don't know my medical history. And well, they say if you refuse the PO medication, we're gonna give you a shot. I said I refused the PO medication and the shot. And I said, no, you can't refuse the shot. The doctor said you can't refuse it. Okay, you don't know nothing about me. I ain't even from your state. I'm from the state of Texas. Resident of Texas. And I'm here I done told you where I'm from. Gave you my address, my next of kin. And then you're going to give me a shot. Okay, the first shot they gave me knocked me out. They woke me up and gave me another shot. I was already out for the count. And the staff said they shared next morning or whatever. They found me unresponsive. Nobody took me to the hospital. They shared with me that I was out for 3 days. And in those 3 days, I didn't have an IV in me. I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I was out for the count. They left me there to die. They wanted me to die. They had somebody watching me 24 hours a day. The only thing they wanted to do was to watch. The staff asked me, how did you do that? Because I guess they thought I was playing or something. Don't be foolish now. You ain't be out 3 days. And they gonna ask me, why didn't you, how can you hold your pee and hold your bowel movement for 3 days? And I remember waking up in the clinic that they took me to. And I asked her, I said, how can you ask me that question? And I asked to pee, and you told me to get up and go use the bathroom. Didn't give me a bedpan. Didn't do anything. I went back out there. Um, so they left me there to die. But see, they think that when they do all of this to you, you're gonna stop doing what and everything. You're gonna stop pursuing them. You're gonna stop trying to sue them and report them and all that. But I haven't. That's because it's a lot of other people there that are suffering. They have went through, people probably have went through things worse off than I have. And some people probably is from another state. They probably even moved after that, their incident. See, you don't do anything like that and expect to get away with it. Keep on getting away with it. But this is all about love in my experience, because I do love them. It is about exposing their sins, their injustice, for the good of all. And like I shared, it's not about trying to, condemn them. I'm just telling the truth, straight truth. And then after I got out the hospital, before I got in the hospital, the state hospital, Attorney Donna Brock Jr. Served me with papers, about a hearing, and that hearing, the time for that was allowed for a defendant to respond had passed already. And they let me out of the state hospital on December the 2nd of 2016. And so I went head on and went to the hearing. It took a whole lot out of me to go to the hearing, but I went head on and went to the hearing, because I wasn't going to allow them to just say, well, she didn't show up, so it was going to be a win by default. But it wasn't a win by default, because they did it. They went head on and awarded the city that case in winning. But truth be known, they didn't win, because they didn't even supposed to been did that, justice. The judge, Joan Bradswell, Judge Joan Bradswell, he allowed it. That's, I'm telling you, all these crooked folks, Majesty, Floyd Melton, declared that I was mentally incompetent, and he is under Judge Jones Bradswell, Circuit Chancellor Clerk. And see, God is love. He loves me. I know He loves me, because I sure love my Father God, because He could allow me to die in that hospital, but He didn't allow me to die. He allowed me to wake up after 3 days. In a sense, I told them that I was dead, because most people that don't have any bodily functions and was found unresponsive did come to one time that I can remember and went back out, and nobody took me away to a medical hospital. And when I woke up, I couldn't walk. And then they're going to diagnose me with something like tremors when I get angry and everything. Now, how you going to diagnose somebody with tremors with that? And then when they woke up, they couldn't walk. And they was and my legs and stuff was trembling. And like I said, you didn't even know my history. And when I told you my history, you still lied. And that was what? Dr. Torres. You know, over there lying. You know, I don't know whether you lying to keep the job or lying because you was in that clique of group. But y'all all got a scam. And y'all need to be what? You need to be broken, tore down. Because you're hurting. You know, doctors don't supposed to hurt people's life. And then that Dr. Small up in Greenwood found out he's not there no more. But Dr. Small up in Greenwood, he was over there holding unit there at LaFleur Hospital. He don't need no license neither. The judge don't need no license. The attorney don't need no license. And the magistrate don't need no license. Because what? All of them are crooked. All of them, in a sense, due process. They didn't give any due processes. The judges and attorneys didn't give no due process. The lawyers, the doctors, staff, nurses staff, they didn't what? Have no concern, in a sense, for life. They wasn't concerned about life. And all doctors supposed to, they took an oath not to hurt or harm anyone. And they did. So they need to be what? They don't need no license. They don't need no job. And I will end this on that point. But you have a good, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.